Because I've been watching all these videos and been asking people about relationships, I have a heightened sense of curiosity, right? We live in a world, in a society, where men say that they can't get women, but women constantly say they can get any man that they want to. So I'm curious as to what it is that women are telling women to get men. There's a growing list of advice and YouTube channels on how to get men to chase after you, right? You can find out how to get a man to chase you, fall in love with you psychologically, spend money on you. Might want to watch that one. How to get a man to marry you, give you money without asking, to open up emotionally, to commit, obsess with you, to respect you. How to get a man to do anything you want, and how to get a man to divorce you. A lot of this stuff off cuff sounds like manipulation. I am not even going to hold you. It sounds a lot like manipulation. Let's go with how to get a man to chase you. Let's see what that one is. 4.9 million views. Okay. This seems very promising. Okay, I'm down for this one.
I was standing in a bar with a couple of friends, and two women who had initially seen us at the bar then came to talk to us when we were standing in another part of the venue. We had this moment with them of eye contact at the bar, so it didn't feel unnatural when they came over to talk to us. But there was a moment about 3 or 4 minutes in where it became apparent that they had no plans to leave that conversation anytime soon. You know when it feels like someone's hijacked your conversation, you were sort of really in the middle of something big and then they came in. Now that's not a problem because of course every time you go and talk to someone socially, unless they're standing there in silence at that moment, you are going to be hijacking a conversation, and that's okay. The problem comes about when you show no willingness or predisposition to do your own thing at any point. And that was exactly what happened. So what first was this great, oh, there's new people coming to talk to us, turns into this thing of, are they ever going to leave? Or is this now it? Are we three in a relationship with these two people for the rest of the evening?
Just dip, man. Be like, hey, yo, like, you ladies seem sweet or whatever. We don't want to talk to you. Like, leave.
Whenever we tell a story about ladies and it involves myself, everyone always wants to know what happened afterwards. That's always the thing that happens in a live seminar. So what happened? I will tell you. At the end of this video, I'll tell you exactly what happened with these ladies at the end of this interaction. So stay tuned for that. But let's actually get to the lesson first.
Okay, this is the one thing I'm already going to tell you I hate about relationship videos is like y'all always be leaving cliffhangers like,
I'll tell you at the end of the video, but first let's get into the lesson.
And then I guarantee you, if it gets to the end of this video and it's not good, I'm going to be hot. Or it's probably going to be something that's common sense, like, hey, just tell them, hey, you know, I'm just out with the guys. We're trying to enjoy ourselves.
Attraction is based on this kind of push-pull mechanism where you feel someone in your presence, but then maybe you feel them leave, or you at least feel them threatening to leave subconsciously. So there's always that feeling of wanting to keep them around. If they suddenly, from the get-go, even though you haven't really earned that level of attention, turn into you and don't show any signs of either looking around the room, talking to someone else at any point, you start to worry that this may be something that is going to be hard to walk away from. You never want to make someone feel like they have to make excuses in order to walk away from you and leave. I know some of you are thinking that what I mean is when you're standing talking to someone, you don't really pay them any attention. You look over their shoulder and isn't that rude? That's a horrible thing to do. Yes, I don't really mean that. You kind of want someone to come over to you and say something, but also behave in a way that suggests that unless you do something to keep them around, they won't be there forever. You have to be interesting and charismatic in order for me to want to stay. So how do you do this in practice? You might walk over there and start by saying hi, but not position your whole body facing them.
This seems like a whole lot of work and a whole lot of nothing to me. This is also coming from a person who doesn't frequent bars and doesn't go to clubs. When it comes to a club environment, right, people already have an idea that we're not here for serious interactions. If You're approaching me, you're trying to hit. It's all a hookup type of deal. It's nothing for genuine, like, long-term relationships, which is why I would say a lot of dating and stuff like that, I wouldn't try to get somebody at the club.
The second thing is, don't be afraid 30 seconds in, a minute in, 2 minutes in, to turn back to your friend and start talking to your friend for a minute or two. You're not leaving the situation. You're not going to the other side of the bar. You're still standing there next to them. You have proximity, but you're talking to your friend again. So the guys are here. You're then turned away talking to your friend and saying, oh, did I tell you about that thing the other day? And you keep talking to them for a little bit. The guys now standing here are aware of A, the fact that you spoke to them and therefore it's okay for them to keep speaking to you. But B, they're not just going to have your 100% attention no matter what. They now have to be the ones to reinitiate. And this is a nice test, by the way, because you're now seeing if they actually are attracted by whether they reinitiate or not.
This sounds like manipulation and whatnot, and he said you're testing them. If you like somebody, just tell them. Don't make it difficult. You're making it difficult, and it really doesn't have to be that difficult. Oh my God. The one time I will say be very cautious is definitely if a guy is not leaving you alone, because that is the one time I will say, even me personally, I feel vulnerable when I am trying to give hints that I want to be left alone, because I feel like sometimes, depending on the guy, you can get a lot of different responses. If you tell a person, hey, I don't want to be bothered, sometimes you can get a guy who can become very belligerent. The majority of the time, though, most dudes would be like, okay, like, you have a wonderful day, and just leave it at that. But this is too much. This is too much. I'm not for the manipulation and tactics right now.
It's hard to see if someone's truly attracted if you never leave. If you're always standing there, you never really get that gauge. One of the most useful tips I could give a guy, for example, is to go and talk to a woman for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, and then turn away and keep talking to your friend. If she likes you, she's going to turn around and keep talking to you because she now feels she has a level of comfort. But you'll never really know how much she likes you if you don't give her an opportunity to reinitiate, if you're always the one who's driving forward. So give them an opportunity to reinitiate.
Okay. I do agree with this. If you have been initiating and you're just constantly going, two things with that, I would say, is it makes her lazy because she doesn't feel like even if she does like you, feels like she doesn't have to do anything because you're constantly initiating. As well as the off side of that is that if you stop initiating, she thinks that something's wrong with the relationship because you're constantly doing stuff and she doesn't have to do anything. So I feel like that's universal. Like, don't go and don't be where you're not wanted. I feel like in any relationship, if you're doing a whole bunch of work and the other person isn't willing to do work as well, then you probably need to cut your losses because she ain't into you. He ain't into you.
He wants to chase, he wants to go on the hunt, but he wants to feel like there's going to be a chance of success if he does. So you coming over to him is fine. That's not a problem. But staying there and not giving him the chance to then reinitiate and chase you a little bit, that's a problem. You want to allow him that little bit of pleasure from coming after you. That then creates attraction because he feels like part of now talking to you was his idea, not just yours. I feel like, Jameson, we're clarifying something that we've never really clarified here. We're saying, yes, you can make the first move. You can go over to the guy, but don't then do 100% of the proactivity. Don't then be the one standing there. Always be the one moving forward. You can actually remove yourself from the situation for a moment. By the way, one of the best things you can do is go have fun over there and then talk to more people and for them to see you talking to another group of people, because then they're like, oh, they're not just going to wait around for us all night. Just have fun. Be that social butterfly. He's going to see you and think, she's high value. It wasn't all about me. And then he starts questioning himself. Maybe, does she like me as much as I thought? Is she into me? I'm going to find out. I'm going to start being into her.
Oh my gosh, bro. Is that how it is? Is this how it is in the clubs? Y'all just playing coy and chicken with each other? I feel like I lost some IQ points. It's okay to take the first move. It's okay to be forward, but don't do it from a place of playing games. This whole like playing coy and playing like hard to get, I don't get it. I personally don't get it. I've just tried to be as straightforward as possible.
It's a good video, Jameson. I'm really feeling this one. It's very real.
It's not that deep.
That's what she said.
Michael, please. Please.
Be prepared to have one foot in the interaction and one foot out at the same time, and go between that kind of push and pull effect so that you don't seem like you're too needy and stuck in that interaction. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know many of you have held on this long in the video to see what happened with these two women. Nothing. We left and they went back to their lives and we went back to ours. Not every story has an interesting ending.
Did I say? What did I say? It's kind of hard for me to call this one because I do not go clubbing. I went to a club one time in my life, found it absolutely terrible. I never went back again. This whole dating and trying to speak to somebody and try to attract somebody in a club, I feel like it just speaks to hookup culture, which is an issue in our society now. Everybody wants to hook up, but no one wants commitment, and you're already starting off on a bad foot because you're already trying to manipulate a situation in order to get something that you want. Rather than just being 100% genuine, if you like somebody and you feel like they don't like you, leave. Now, if once again, this isn't a place of manipulation. If you feel like you're not being wanted, leave the situation. But if they chase and go after you, then it's like, oh, well, maybe there is something there. Continue the conversation going. You're not playing a game of chess, trying to manipulate somebody to see like if they like you or not. I feel like this is really skewed. And it already starts like, if this does become something, it already starts off on a really bad foot. That's just me though. But anyway, thank you for watching, kinfolk. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and hit that little like button. Catch up on our future videos. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I try to upload a video every day. And leave a comment as well. Am I wrong? Should we be playing this game of cat and mouse, or should we actually just be genuine? I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.